Hey everyone, my name is Brianna Javon with Geek Plus Magazine, and we are here today at the Bremar Productions downtown. We are super excited to get started with our magazine. This is series 11. Wow. All right, so let's go ahead and get into your journey.
Yeah.
How did you get into the therapy industry?
So I started with counseling all the way through college and graduate school, but I got the bug for it in 7th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a family argument that was happening between my mom and I, which was the norm for that period of time in my life. And I ran out of her room, plopped down in the living room, and we were all prolific readers, so there was always books everywhere. My dad even left his college textbooks at the house.
Wow.
So when I looked on the shelf and I saw a psychology book, I was drawn to it thinking, oh, maybe that'll explain why we can't get along. And I'm thumbing through the book and I see one word, dysfunction. And when I read the definition of that word at 13, I realized that's our family. We're not mean, we're not hateful, I'm not selfish, I'm not all of the things that she's called me and all of the things I've thought about her, that we are simply dysfunctional. So that was it. I was drawn to it since then.
That's beautiful. So with that being stated, learning everything that you've gone through in the past, and of course, you know, being educated, being a doctor, as you mentioned, how are you applying all of that information into your business now?
That's been a whirlwind because I started out strictly with counseling kids because I wanted to help kids who were going through the same experiences that I had. And that evolved to adults, to families, and then I've really honed in on women, professional women. That's what I do a lot of work with. I still have some great couples that I work with, but a lot of the people that I work with now are professional women. And I kind of, I guess, evolved into that because I could identify with the women who were on the other side of the sofa from me. I've run a business since I was 29 years old. I was really out there trying to figure things out without the proper resources. Nobody talked to me about a professional coach. No one said to me, go down here to the business center. It was just go, you know. Matter of fact, they didn't really even support me starting a business. One, because my family is very about education and really, you know, investing that money and being able to live comfortably. That was the first thing. The second thing was I was a counselor. And Black people were not known to go to counseling back in the 90s. And so there was some question as to whether I would have reasonable business in the counseling field. And then I was a mom. I had kids, you know, and I'm trying to start a business. So there were kind of a couple of things that were like limitations in other people's eyes, but I saw them as possibilities. And so now I still have my counseling practice, but a lot of what I do now is the strategy, the cohort, the development for people.
Wow. So what did that transition look like for you?
I would say that it was steady. I really would. Like the business part of it, there have been some lows, which you would imagine with the economy fluctuating the way it has. There's been some highs where we've had some really great years, but I've never lost my love for people. Like any the practice that I've owned, we've always helped people. Right? So that has been, if I would have to identify anything, that has been one of the most rewarding experiences. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I do kind of want to backtrack a little bit. Why do you feel like there is such a negative stigma when it comes to counseling or therapy in the Black community?
Well, if you look at what's going on now, we have had to stifle our true emotions for so long with the danger of being exposed, right? So you can't really think about it. Even if we go back to slavery times, you couldn't show that you were actually angry with someone who owned you.
That's true.
Right?
That's
true.
So
your parents would tell you to stop behaving like that in front of people that would likely kill you if you express your true feelings. And then your parents felt like they had to train you at home to control your emotions and stifle them, because if I don't do it at home, somebody is going to do it outside of the home. I love you and will discipline you or punish you, but somebody outside of the home may kill you. So you go through, you know, years, decades of this, and now we get to a place where even adult women will tell a man, I can't believe you crying. Like, what you crying about? You just a little old wuss. I don't even know if I can deal with you, when he's really having some strong emotions. And then you have this Black girl magic syndrome that says we have to be everything to everyone. And if that is not fantasy world, I don't know what is, because we're human beings.
That's right.
And God actually instilled in us hundreds of emotions that we're supposed to experience so that we can process the stimuli around us. And when we stifle those emotions, that's what creates the anxiety and the depression and feeling overwhelmed. It's a cycle that we have to get out of.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Because that's so the truth of what's going on right now. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So with that being stated, what makes you different from other counselors or other therapists out there? What is the difference between your services and what other people may bring?
Well, everyone has their niche.
That's true.
That's the beauty of it. Like, I am enjoying so much this generation of counselors because they help me get outside of the box. They help me understand what are the new methodologies that are out there. What are the new services? Like, things that the new counselors are doing, I may not even do those, but just to know that they're available. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I put on my Facebook page, if you need a referral for counseling, inbox me. And I had about 10 counselors saved in my notes section, and I got 57 people to inbox me, and I sent them that list of counselors. And I even told the people that are on my list, saddle up. I just sent your name out to 57 people. If you want me to start referring people to you, let me know, and I'll take you off this list. People want that counseling. So everyone has a niche, and I do not proclaim to fit everyone's needs. I'm not a guru of counseling. I'm a counselor. I'm good at what I do. So whatever someone says I'm going to go get trained on, what I'm going to provide, you may need a different provider than what I can do. I may need a different, like my counselor, you wouldn't like my counselor, right? For whatever reason. So that's why we all have specialties, and we put that hopefully on our websites, right?
Yeah.
And you made me think about something like when I went natural with my hair, my whole clientele rocked. Oh, my whole clientele. Like, the demographic shifted considerably, right? So before, I had about 50-50 of all races. Like, you know, between the races, it was pretty even or whatever. White, black, Hispanic. Over the years, that has declined greatly. And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that, because now I get a phone call that says, your hair drew me to you. Right?
Yes.
Instead of, why are you wearing your hair like that? You know, like, that was the question I got. We're going to lose contracts with you wearing your hair like that. Yeah. So it's not about, like, what makes me different from other people. It's that we need to find a counselor that fits us for what we need.
Indeed.
That's what I tell people to do.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So please share with us one lesson you feel like you've learned, or you can help somebody that's watching right now or listening right now.
So one of the things that I've learned that I have embodied at this point is the necessity for someone who's a professional, for someone who's in business, entrepreneur, even creatives, because I'm raising two of them right now, is the need for a coach. That's what I've learned. I know for a fact, like, I don't doubt it at all, that my business would have had significantly more success had I been coached from day one instead of year 15, year 16. Every time I have secured a professional coach, I have elevated in my practice. And so what I've done now, I've shifted outside of the counseling arena and more into strategy coaching. And I'm very mindful with people that I'm a strategy coach that incorporates all quadrants of life, not just your professional quadrant. We're talking about relationships, your spiritual life, self-care, and your professional life, to make sure that you have high levels of accountability in all of those areas, so that when you're on your way up, one, you can handle the emotionality of it. When you get there, you can sustain it. And when you get on the other side of it, that you come out well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so we do have this game that's called This or That.
Okay.
Which one do you prefer, as you just mentioned?
Okay.
Coaching or counseling?
That's not fair. That's not fair. Let me tell you why. How do you walk away from something that you've been doing since you were in your 20s? Right? So I think there will always be a part of me that enjoys counseling. I think there will. What happens with counseling, you know, we have a governing board. Like, some people, I get calls from New York, from, like, you know, an entirely different country. Like, I saw your interview. I want to come to counseling with you. I'm licensed in Texas. I can't counsel you in Africa. I can't counsel you on the West Coast. I'm licensed in Texas, and I will not be expanding my licenses to other areas. But with coaching, with strategy coaching, I can help a larger audience of people get to that point. However, if we get in our strategy coaching relationship and I see that, oh, no, you need counseling, then we're going to get on the databases to make sure that we secure a counselor in your area.
Because that's two different conversations at that point.
That's two highly different conversations. Yes.
Makes
Yes.
sense.
And I am very particular about that. There's no point in me working on your business development if you are suffering from severe depression. I would not do that. Like, I don't think that's even a good sign of integrity for me to do that. I would, definitely make sure that that's in order.
Makes sense. Well, tell us what's next for Dr. Stacia.
So right now I'm wow, you know what? That's a good question, because I am doing a lot right now. Wow, so I did, so you're gonna have to edit that part out. But no, so I signed an influencer deal with a major telehealth company, so I'm doing work for them quite a bit. And it's really weird because they keep asking for these commercials, but I never see them. And it's like, so y'all just gonna keep paying me and never air the commercials, but okay, whatever. And then did a couple of commercial spots for a radio station in Baltimore. Got a TEDx talk coming up. I'm excited about that. Yes, I am excited about that. And auditioned for a reality show. I know, it's crazy. It's a lot that's happening. And one, because I stopped living with limitations.
Yes.
I did. I made a conscious effort. 2020 woke me up. It did. I lost my grandmother, which was a really difficult process, even though we saw it coming. And when the pandemic hit, I had time to grieve. I had time to recover, and I had time to recalibrate. And in that recalibration, I realized I'm living still in limitations. I'm living in limitations. I've been raising kids, I've been a wife, I've been a caretaker, a daughter. I've been living with all of these limitations, and I'm not doing that anymore. And so with that, I've officially launched the coaching business, because I had been doing one-on-ones with people. So I officially launched the group cohort strategy program, and I'm helping other women launch their businesses and be successful with it. Like, truly understand that it's not just about the finances, the legalities of it, that there's some things about you that we have to deal with and prepare you for the success that you're going to achieve. Because a lot of us are afraid of that.
That's true.
We're afraid of it, and we don't know how to handle it, and we'll sabotage it. If you do a survey of college students that are coming out and look at how many of them sabotage their last semester.
Yes.
They just fall short. So either they're gonna have to spend another semester in college, or they go home and they have to, like with us, you can come home, but it's gonna be hard because we're not putting money in your pocket. You gotta figure it out, because we don't want you to get too comfortable.
Well, tell people where they can reach you as far as website, handlers, and things of that nature.
I sure will. So my website is staciaalexander.com. That's pretty easy to find. And then on any social media platform, you should be able to find me at Dr. Stacia Alexander. That's Dr. Stacia Alexander. And then I have a YouTube page, the same name. Got started on TikTok, so I'm on there, so that's fun. And Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, but I don't tweet much. That just, I don't get all of that at all. But the other platforms, I'm pretty active on.
Yes, and it's beautiful information, I must say. I have looked at it and I was like, oh, this is just beautiful. Thank you for providing all the information. And thank you for joining us today.
I appreciate you for having me. I really do. Thank you all. It's been great.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in with us with Geek Plus Magazine. And remember, we innovate life and we think forward. Thank you so much.